Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back once again to the Aura News broadcast. It is 6 o'clock, and that means it's time for our English news edition, in which we have prepared a translated version of today's news stories in a language that you can understand. The issue of the Albanians that are leaving the country looking for asylum, or the Albanian exodus, as it is being called by some, caused a great deal of debate today in the plenary session. For the first time, the Prime Minister Edi Rama spoke up about why he thinks so many Albanians are trying to leave the country. He said that the quest for asylum is a misunderstanding, and it is being exploited by the criminal groups. The Prime Minister confirmed that there has been information circulating that Germany is looking for 45,000 foreigners with various professions. He explained, "There was a huge misunderstanding that was created by a report that was publicized by Germany recently. Germany declared the need for 45,000 specialists in different areas. The criminal groups pounced on this opportunity and created the rumors that have caused this exodus. The same thing happened in other countries of the region, and the same thing happened in Kosovo, where they are working to stop this problem. It is true that there are poor areas, no one denies this fact, but it's shameful to connect it with this government. We have not promised a paradise, and we do not have a magic wand to transform in just a few months what the former government destroyed," said Prime Minister Rama. The former Prime Minister Sali Berisha, in his turn, blamed the Prime Minister for this problem. He spoke about the bad economic situation in the country and how the unemployment level is putting the stability of the nation at risk. Berisha said that unemployment has increased by 33%. The Minister of Welfare, Erion Voliai, retorted by saying that the citizens who are leaving the country are from the communes that are led by the Democratic Party. The Democratic chairman Lulzim Basha has accused the government of pushing the investors away by using the wrong tactics in taxes and energy. Present in Vlora today at an activity called How to Promote Economic Increase, Mr. Basha said that the Albanians are selling everything that they have in order to leave the country because the economic situation is so bad. He made the following statements. "The government has increased the debt up to 72%, and it has not created any jobs. There are incriminated people in the government, and the unemployment rate increased by 7% in just 2 years. The extreme poverty has doubled. The Bank of Albania is decreasing its minimum interest rate, but it is not having any effect on the credit. The terrible economic situation is because of a lack of political vision. The government has not kept any of the promises that it made. The government approves everything without the input of the opposition. A constitutional reform and parliament accountability are needed. A decrease of taxes is necessary in order to change the situation. We will pursue every option to decrease taxes and the energy price, and the government will get an answer on June 21st, said Mr. Basha. The chief prosecutor, Adriatic Llalla, declared today that the plot to kill Tom Doshi was entirely made up by Doshi and Frroku for purposes that are still being investigated. He denied any connection of this case with the transfer of the prosecutor, Eugen Betsi. He said, "The case of Tom Doshi is not connected to the transfer of the prosecutor Betsi to Elbasan. They are different cases that happened at the same time by coincidence. The case of Tom Doshi is being investigated, and it has taken a new direction. The investigation has revealed that Doshi and Froku made up the whole story." The chief prosecutor also spoke about the process of decriminalization. He said that it was very important and necessary, and that the Albanians need to be governed by people of high quality. "The debate and the challenge of decriminalization have just begun," he said, "and it will take time before there are any results. It is important that the highest state levels be involved in this initiative. Actually, the prosecution is investigating an MP who is accused by the Belgian authorities of a murder in 1999. The discussion on decriminalization has started to have results," Chief Llalla said. He also commented on the drug laboratory that was discovered in Gibraltar in January. He said that the prosecution started the investigation after information was received from the German authorities. He said that the investigation was ongoing and that only when it was concluded will the situation be truly clear. Several illegal additions to a hotel belonging to the MP Frroku have been torn down by the National Inspectorate for the Protection of the Territory. The inspectorate says that they have given warning to the owner of the hotel and that the owner had already begun to dismantle the additions before the inspectorate took action. Mark Frroku himself is currently in critical health condition after suffering from heart problems yesterday evening. Yesterday, Frroku was sent to the prison hospital with cardiac problems, and today he was sent to the German hospital. After examining him, the doctors revealed that he is experiencing liver failure as well, and that his liver is no longer functional. Mark Frroku was arrested on April 3rd, and he is accused of committing a murder in Belgium some years ago. The General Directorate of Prisons has requested an upgrade of the prison security systems. The director reacted a day after a police statement about the case of Gens Farhati. According to the police, he was able to communicate using a mobile phone from the prison cell of Pacini. The General Director, Artur Zotto, said, "There is a need to sophisticate the security systems in our prisons. The infrastructure of the prisons need technological investment in order to block cell phone signals." Mr. Zotto said that the smuggling of prohibited items into prison cells is done in many strange ways, and that the prisoners' innovation for acquiring contraband is sometimes beyond our imagination. He continued, "Some of the smuggling methods are bizarre. They put mobile phones in gas cans, water bottles, containers that are disguised as water bottles, but really they have watches, phones, and a variety of other tools inside," said General Director Zotto. The doctors, nurses, and dentists of Albania will soon have to undergo the testing of the Ministry of Health. The Administrative Court of Appeals has rejected the suit of the Order of Nurses, which had requested that the testing be canceled. This ruling finalizes the issue. The doctors, nurses, and dentists will undergo the test. The Health Minister Ilir Becaj said that an agenda will be set to determine the dates for this. He said, "This is a final decision. We must now recreate the agenda that we had because of the project being postponed." The Ora News reporters questioned the director of the Order of Nurses, who did not rule out the possibility of trying to appeal this decision again. The doctors and nurses are not happy about the ministry's plans, and several protests were organized back in February. The doctors claim that their experience is sufficient and that testing is not necessary. The students of Tirana protested today against the reform of the higher education system. They say that they cannot afford the high tuition fees and that they do not have the right to elect the leaders of their university. Initially, the protest began outside the university, but it soon relocated to the Prime Ministry. Despite the rejection of the students and the academic leaders, the Minister of Education has said that the reform is on an irreversible path. The bill on higher education is expected to be discussed in the parliamentary commissions during the month of May. Several days ago, the academic leaders decided to write a petition against the bill, hoping to stop it before it gains the approval of the parliament. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes our news for this evening. Thank you for joining us. Please be with us again tomorrow at the same time for more Albanian news in English. Thanks, and have a great night.